Hi, my name is Shaylin Ogletree, and I'm a senior here at Tarleton State University with a major in animal science and a concentration in production. So, a little bit of background information about me is that originally, when I came into school and picked my major, I wanted to be a vet. After a couple semesters, I realized that that really wasn't the path for me, and so right now, my career goal is a little bit blurry. I don't know exactly what I want to do. However, I do know that I definitely want it to be involved in agriculture in some capacity. And I also know that at some point in the future, I do want to have an operation of my own. Whether that's pigs, sheep and goats, or cattle, I'm not exactly sure. I just want to have something of my own. I found this internship because the owner and operator was one of my former ag teachers. I knew that he had this business, and so I was looking for an internship close to my hometown, which is where I'll be over the summer. And so I reached out, and he said that it was one of his busiest times of the year since he had all of his sows farrowing this month, and that this would be a perfect opportunity. Next, I'm going to give you a quick little rundown and general description of what G2 Genetics is. So G2 Genetics is a family-owned and operated pig farm in Waxahachie, Texas, which, like I said earlier, that's my hometown. So one thing that I really appreciate about G2 Genetics is that the whole concept behind their operation is that they put quality over quantity. So this relates to my area of interest because, like I said, my concentration is production, and G2 Genetics does exactly that. They produce pigs, they produce livestock, which is something that I want to do at some point in my future as a goal. So the current status of the business is overall successful. Aside from that, not only are they making money, they're also making a name for themselves. They're very well known in our county, especially around our stock show. Year after year, they place when banners get pulled for sale, etc., and they're very well known. So I'm going to talk about the specific operations. The specific operations related to my concentration was really the management aspect of the whole thing. So, like I said earlier, my concentration is production, and one of my career goals is to have an operation of my own. And so it was really cool to see firsthand what it takes to own, operate, and run your own business essentially from the ground up. Additionally, on top of the whole management aspect, we also focus largely on the reproductive and breeding management of it all because of the time of year it was. Like I said, we had babies come this month, and so with all the sows farrowing, he kind of gave me a rundown of what a year looks like, when they want to start breeding them, how they check for pregnancy, how we monitor that pregnancy, when the babies farrow, what it looks like for them, the mom, that sort of thing. It was really cool to see firsthand what it takes to kind of grow and expand, and it was really cool getting to work with, baby pigs, because it's baby pigs. So while the marketing plan wasn't exactly discussed, we didn't go super deep into finances. We did briefly talk about how much roughly in a year would you spend, how much do pigs go for, how much does it cost to keep all of this running loosely, that sort of thing. So that was really cool to see firsthand as well. So one thing that we did do a lot of and put a lot of emphasis on was record keeping. Especially with all those babies coming in, it was really important to put, who the sow was, if they were, any defects and whatnot with the babies. Luckily, everything was smooth sailing, so we had to mark all that down as well. So I'm going to go over some of the main responsibilities that I had while I was there, and a big one was cleanliness, maintenance, cleanliness, just keeping everything clean. And I did that by sweeping, power washing, cleaning pens. There were 2 barns that I just completely gutted and power washed and disinfected and cleaned. And I did that to prepare for all the new pigs that were going to be moving in there. Once the sows farrowed and they had all their babies, we didn't want the babies running around on old dirty stuff. We didn't want them getting sick. We did all that to prevent illness, skin infections, that sort of thing. So I learned many new skills while I was spending my time at G2 Genetics. I learned how to walk pigs, which seems like such an easy, and I feel like everybody kind of knows how to do it. I didn't. I knew the general idea, but I actually got to do it and be hands-on. I did that a lot, and so I really worked on it. And now I've learned how to have, control the pig and to go where you want, work with them, that sort of thing. I also learned how to clip the tails, why they clip the tails. I tagged ears, I gave shots. The thing that I really appreciate about this internship is that it gave me a very honest look into what it takes to own and operate your own business. General animal science was really the extent of what I knew about pigs. However, I also took repro at Tarleton, and that was very helpful as well, especially with this time of year with everything farrowing. We were having to check for pregnancy and whatnot. Repro was another class that was very helpful for me. Meat science was also another one that kind of came in handy. We talked about, meat quality and whatnot, why these pigs are the way that they are, that sort of thing, the muscling. So that was pretty cool to look back and think about how a couple different classes were pretty helpful to me. There are definitely pros and cons to being here. While they were pretty much all pros, there were a couple cons. Like I said, if you're somebody who doesn't want to be in the heat all day, you don't want to work outside, this probably isn't for you. I was outside every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day, and it is hot. It is the middle of summer in Texas, so it is hot. If that's something that you don't enjoy, it's probably not for you. If that's something that you're kind of interested in, you're still really interested in the operation aspect and the management aspect, then this is probably something totally for you. So I would 100% recommend this internship to anybody else with a concentration in production. I think that overall at G2 Genetics, Kayla and James Glenn, which is the owner and operator, have done a fantastic job. Overall, my time at G2 Genetics was very informative and helpful, and I'm glad for the opportunity.